I am just very, very happy today, friends, because I have somebody who I've been wanting on the podcast, who I have been in absolute awe and admiration. And hello, 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 world. This is Shruti Pandey, and you can see and probably gauge from my excitement. I have with me one of the amazing women leaders that we have in tech today, Shobika, who is currently heading technology for APAC and Middle East. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. While India and Pakistan fight their battle on cricket field today, here we are recording this podcast.
Hey, hi Shruti. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's also you're one of the best podcasters we have on the in the town. So glad to be here and having this conversation with you.
You are being just too kind to me, and I have created like a plethora of questions for you. Uh, as I was mentioning a little earlier to her that I didn't know what not to keep and what to keep. There's so much to ask, and I want to, get everything out of you, all your success, and you've achieved so much, to be very honest, from one technologist to another. Just that connection, just that engineering level, I have a lot of respect for you, Shobika. Seriously, hats off
Thanks,
to
dear.
you. So I really want to start a little by saying that you've achieved so much so fast. Um, so fast is actually so wrong to say because you've achieved so much and that would have seemed like eternity to you. But you've achieved so much, and what's the secret to, an ever lasting or evergreen engineering career in today's world, right? And I have a little request here, a little caveat that this answer should not include two of your favorite aspects, which are grow by growing others and continuous learning. You can't mention two of those. You can talk about them later. I definitely want you to highlight about those two aspects as well. But what's your secret?
I think I always understood technology. That's how I put it. I always wanted to be two steps ahead of technology. You won't believe I started my career on in mainframes, right? So I knew mainframes are not going to last long. But that's like 18 years back when I started my career, right? So, and then I was itching to move on to Java and distributed technologies very initially in the careers. And then after that, I moved JP Morgan. JP Morgan was not doing internal development then. It was all about, they used to create pack files and batch files or something. We used to just convert it in our whatever jar files, and we push it into environments, etc. That was the work. And then I said I'll do automation, right? I said whatever was given an opportunity, I kind of created, and I kind of wanted to get closer to the business. It's one of a way for understanding. I wanted to be closer to the code, and then I get an opportunity. I move into Java space and I said I'll do that, right? And then there was web methods. I learned web methods also in that in between. Wherever I could get pockets and objectives to diversify my technology skills, I was very clear that I want to be a technologist and not get pushed under something else. There were so many other jobs. There were so many program management came, business analyst came, QA jobs came. I tried them all. It's not that I never said no for it. I tried them all, and I had this strong intuition or a gut saying me that's not the path. You need to pick the other one, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of went back, and even there's 12 years in JP Morgan when I remember I had done this so many small tools to do my job, right? So I used to finish off my job earlier and do faster than others because create the small batch files and make sure it helped me, do a lot of stuff. And
Yeah.
then I was kept pushed on that career. Many people then intermittently went there here, and I said, no, I want to do this. I kept my focus on it, and eventually it was hard work. Right? Every time I changed the tech stack, etc., I had to learn. I had to initial first year, I would have not, I used to feel very bad that what will my rating be? How will I be judged? Because I'm starting from the scratch, but I had worked so hard. The intent was to get at least one or two strongs, right? We had this three retro scaling, and I wanted to ensure it happens. And I worked day and night to make sure keep up with it. It was never easy to transition from one tech stack to another, and I kept learning from the team. I kept learning. Even when I'm leading also, there are certain things I never used to know, but I used to keep practicing. I had got so many certifications on my way. Practice till I got it right. Even now, I'm doing my doctorate in generative AI. It's all Python, and I'm still practicing and very closer to the code and coding as much as possible. And again, why I'm calling this out is generative AI, because I know that's going to be the future. So I'm already looking at ways what's going to be the tomorrow's one and trying to be ready now so that there is a proper career way. And I have done almost everything on this side of the technology. Now I have to do this side of the technology to be relevant in next few years.
This is crazy. This is crazy. And I could feel all the roller coaster with you, because I have also been in JP and I understand things were so not easy, even to like move a needle, you would have to take so much of permission, so much of firewall,
Totally.
this, that. It's not easy to do stuff in any bank for that matter, for security reasons, for so much of application performance, this, that reason. But this is crazy. And I think the best part, which you said, if I could just summarize it all, is seeing the future and being already prepared for it. You knew mainframe wouldn't last. So you were already looking forward to Java as you're currently looking forward to generative AI. So I think the best of people, the best of technologists are these kind of people, right? Because I'm pretty sure you would also have had peers or friends, the batch who would graduate with you and they would be like, oh, you got into SAP, stick to SAP. Don't go anywhere else. You have to be an expert in one thing. And I'm like, no, but I'm sticking to automation. Whatever automation I get, it's fine, right? It's engineering after all. So thank you. Thank you for calling that out loud and, giving that hope to that little Shruti also that, okay, you weren't that crazy to do stuff. But I also want to understand because you mentioned ratings, right? And I had kept this point as a question for you because, again, maybe in other banks it would happen different way, but since you have been in the finance and banking world also so strongly, the whole point of sponsors and promotion that happens, which again is another ball game together, right? Not quite
Yes.
the rating parts. That is something also very tricky. How do you or how did you manage to take care of it for yourself?
So this is something which I learned in first year. I joined Capgemini, right? I joined new organization, and I assumed my first career, right? I would be promoted without asking, because I was a top rated person. I got the best of the best ratings consecutively years, and I should be a normal choice. And the other people were not as good as me. When you come with the whole thing, I should have been got, and I didn't get that year. I cried a lot that day, and I said, how come I didn't get it? Right? Something which I couldn't understand. I did not understand the corporate for a very long time, but I asked those questions. I went back to my manager and asked him why I did not get the promotion. So he said, you never asked. And it was such a simple answer. And I said, from then I decided I will ask for every promotion, every time I think I deserve something. I just went and asked for it, and they used to either say, I'm not ready, I need to do this. I always got something that I need to work on, or, I finally clearly got an answer, not have that blind faith that somebody will take care of my career, but I am the owner of my career and I need to be asking the right question with the right set of people.
Oh my God, that like I should have given a standing ovation for that, but I was just, oh goodness, yeah. Yeah, you never ask. Do you think because you're a leader, and I'm pretty sure, I know as a matter of fact, as a person you are, you wouldn't look at the gender aspect of it, right? Like a man is asking for a promotion or a woman is asking or not asking. But do you think this whole aspect of you didn't ask for the promotion happens more with female compared to the male counterpart?
Yeah, I coach a lot of women. I speak to a lot of women, man. Definitely. The percentage of man is higher than women. Whatever the women come, right? They said, I don't need money. I don't need promotion. I'm here for the learning. How many ever times I put that money, right? I would have been a millionaire now. So that is the thing that I want to change. And I keep telling women, don't say that, please. You're not only spoiling your chances, you're spoiling for the overall generations to come. It is not the right way, because it is supposed to be meritocracy. Let's not make it look like sympathy or empathy just because I'm a woman. You made me give a job, and then it's okay. I'm learning. That is the biggest what do you call gift of the mankind. No, it is not. I earned it. I deserve it. I need to be here, and that's the reason I'm here.
Wow. Wow. Oh my God. I think this conversation needs to have a constant clapping, but that's very irritating for people to hear. But this is so damn. bang on. And now I want to really understand your two aspects. Which are your favorite aspects, I think, of, you know, just being an engineering leader? Because I see that so eminent and prominent in everything that you say or do, which is grow by growing others. Let's start with that one first. Like, what do you even mean by that? What's that quote? And even
Yeah,
so simple to understand, I still want you to let people know.
see again, I when I became, I think within my 1.5 years of experience, I became a manager, and I was a bad manager to start with. I didn't know right how to be a manager. I was just a manager, not a leader. What's the difference between a manager and a leader now, right? A manager manages people. A leader creates new leaders, right? So that is how do you get more leaders makes a difference, and that I did not understand for a long time. Had self obsessed about myself, what I do, how great I am. I couldn't look beyond myself. And as I went through and I understood, it is, as you grow up, I can't do all by myself, right? It is nothing, never in this world we do by ourselves. It's a myth. Even when we grow up, it's our parents, our siblings, a lot of things. That learning came in very late in my life, and I said, this is not me. This is, not the way to look at it, right? This is more of, I'm going to gain more by giving, not by taking, right? And not being obsessed myself. I am good, yes, but how do I make others good? How do I kind of make it a chain reaction? Then I kind of changed my focus, and I kind of invested a lot of time in people around me and getting them up to speed, and making a new set of leaders, right? And that is when I could do 100 times more. That's another key thing which allows me to do a lot more work, which people say, how do you balance your house, your work, your studies, your travel, your passions? I read a lot and everything, because I definitely look upon to the people, and delegate and get them to achieve goals. And when they achieve goals, it becomes your goals as well. So rather than having one goal, I have 100 goals, or how many other people I have, so many number of goals we can achieve together.
It's crazy. I don't remember anybody on this podcast, or forget podcasts, even in my life until now, all my technology engineering years, if anybody would have, in general said that, oh, this was not something right about me. And you said this out loud, like even to have that self-awareness is crazy. I think you learned it really early, even if you think
Yeah,
you learned it late. I think you learned it so early, and you never felt intimidated or jealous of the fact, oh my God, I'm creating more leaders. What would happen
I
on?
did. I started from there, right? I think that is where the whole realization, acknowledged that is where it's coming from. I didn't realize that it was jealousy from the day one. I thought I'm better than people. No, it is somewhere in inside me there was a gap, or something needs to be filled in, and I was acting out of that, right? When I understood that aspect of mine is when I said no. It is much the, they say that, givers sleep more and takers something like that. This one saying,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sleep better.
So
Yeah.
it's more of, we sleep better because when you're giving, and that was instantly, was I could realize it. And I had to read a lot of books, and not that I kind of, it was not an epiphany that suddenly, oh, somebody came and told me. No, right? You read, you learn, you look at movies, a lot of things. I sit and retrospectively think, oh, what is this, what is that? And that came from that. I sat and spent a lot of time and energy in terms of, making sure, this is not working. What is the right thing to do?
Yeah.
And so many, and again, there's so much of experience in life also happens to you, right? At that moment, I also think the best time when it happened was when I became a mom, would be an ideal time. And I looked at life very differently. Though I was a woman, I didn't know what a mother looked like. I was reborn when I was a mom. My mindset have completely changed. I don't think I recognized myself before my son and what I am now, right? It is completely, there's so many things that happen to you will change. I can only remember my son's thing, but I'm sure it's a huge milestone, right? Like that, there are so many things that some person would have come into your life and done that to you to remember and make sure you'd give it back. And that stayed with me, and it changed my perspectives way early in my career.
So I had not thought this, but since you mentioned about, motherhood and everything, and it gave me goosebumps. I don't know how, but really it gave me goosebumps. And it reminded me of one of my colleagues who was at JP, and she was going through a pregnancy, and it wasn't very easy thing, when you're a working woman. Forget about managing work and managing yourself and house and everything, but the expectation of your managers and how your rating would be, how your career would be, if it's not too personal and if you can help,
How?
because I'm pretty sure there are women who are listening to you right now and they want to know this aspect also. So I can't leave this, unassessed. Can you help them understand this if it's
So
okay?
when I was pregnant, I was working on the weekends. I never took single leave when I was pregnant. If you know, people have seen me during my pregnancy. They said, "I don't know how you manage." I was standing there running philanthropy events in the ground, making sure everything is happening, and running women events. And I was to lead so many initiatives that time. Right, I was working till the last minute of the labor. And I thought I had one more week to get into labor, but the labor happened one way as well. To midnight, I was sending emails saying that I hand over, and I had a couple of meetings planned for next week and things like that. And I get my labor, and my first thing, oh my god, I have this many work pending,
Oh
right? And
God.
I had to go to labor, and I was like, how do I? And I sent as many emails I could. I said I'm getting into labor and all that stuff. I go there, and after labor, they are in anesthesia. You're not actually in pain, and I'm sending emails. I had a son, and I'm sorry, I have to cancel these meetings. The people are shut up and get get to rest. And I was in this whole anesthesia thing and or whatever that painkiller stuff. I was not feeling it at that moment. After that, it hit me. I couldn't do anything for a very long time because the pain was miserable and it was very, very thing. During the pregnancy, I was very active and I never thought it as a I was throwing up the other side, and then I was like 2 minutes and come back and I sat in the call. I've done it multiple times. It's never been a thing of it's just a routine. Like I used to feel so tired and I used to sit in one place and then come back and work. I've worked the longest. I'll tell you why. Because that year I was due for promotion. I was supposed to be a VP, so I didn't want to miss it for anything in the world, not for my son as well, right? So it's like I had to give my best and I had to make sure I show up, I put up my best version that year. So amongst all the years, if you ask me which year I worked hard, would be that year when I was pregnant with my son, and I gave birth to my son in 2015, and that year end I became a VP, right? And I had done. I also came back from maternity leave 2 weeks early, just because I don't think anybody had to go, but I would never let any other women in my leadership would have to go through that. I would make sure they're comfortable and they would not do it.
Yeah,
But at that time, for me, it's a great milestone, and you know how the promotions are, right? You
yeah,
have to it really well. It is your best year. You better make it. Otherwise, it's just going to go year and year. It's nothing to do with you.
yeah,
Promotions are nothing to do with your potential. Promotions are just about being at the right time, at the right place, and making the most of it. And if you understand that, most of the people can crack the promotion. And that's what I said earlier in my career. I was very clear what good promotions looks like, and I was obsessed about it for a long time. Now I'm not, right? That's again a journey of your life where you think you want. And I very early in my life I became vice president, etc., right? But after that, you become a different person. That high did not make me feel so high when I had my son, right? That was the biggest thing. So though promotions may want you to feel a different high, but your personal achievements make you feel good much more than all these professional achievements, trust me.
wow, man. Wow, wow. Every time you share your experience, I just go in the flow with you, and it's so amazing to experience your journey. Thank you so much for sharing all of this with me and with people who are listening. Thank you so much. I don't understand how, ladies who mothers who give birth are managing to do this, because even that friend of mine was working until a day before. I don't know. I have massive respect for all of you moms out there. Seriously, I mean it. And I want to also ask you about the continuous learning part, because no matter how easy that word looks like, I remember a development manager of mine at JP. I don't know why JP is coming up too much today. And before going to that, I think since you also mentioned about all the work that you were doing, I'm pretty sure not just JP, at other places also, Capgemini also, did you ever face that kind of a taunt or sarcasm from people where they would be like, "Oh, Jamie Dimon will make you the next person. Why are you worth?" Have you ever?
always got that taunt because I wouldn't say taunt. I think they all wanted me best, and I always believe that whatever you say it becomes true. So I really I aspire to be a JB Diamond sometimes in the future, right? So if you're not saying that, I just say tatastu and I hope it comes true, right? Um, I I really love doing it. I don't know. It's more about and many of the times they say when I'm sitting in the appraisal, my managers say, I know you've done this, but it's not going to be counted. And I haven't told many of the things that I do to my managers also. It was not for them. It was only for me, my experience. I believe, in life, you get experiences only by doing, right? And then you get an opportunity to do something, do it, right? If you
Yeah.
get say yes, you don't have to know how to do it. You will figure it out on the way, but say yes and figure it out. That experience is much more better than whatever you can get in terms of doing your normal work, something which you don't have influence. Imagine how you can lead a group of people who don't report into you, who are much senior than you, getting them to do certain things. Those all I've done, and it has been an really blessed experience, and I would not trade it for anything, and I would love to do, and I continue to do. If I this could be my primary job, but I never defined my roles and responsibilities. I'll only do this. If it's product job, I'll do it. If it's anybody's job, I just love learning. I don't know. I just keep doing everything that's possible within my permit just to understand. If I like it, I'll do it more. If I don't like it, I'll just step back and say not my cup of tea. Right? It's okay, but I wouldn't say it without trying it. That's all.
You're just bringing, so much memories of mine also. I mean, I wasn't expecting that sarcasm to work here or not, because that literally came runtime. I'm a Java person, so it came runtime because I I just recalled, if people were telling this to me, you were doing like 10x things compared to me. I'm pretty sure if I were doing like 4 projects or 5 projects, you would have done like 20 projects at a time there. So I don't know why I felt like asking you that, but it was with all due respect, and it's crazy
No,
that
no,
you heard
it is,
that.
and it's okay, right? Even now, I can, run parallelly like multi-threads, like 5 to 10 things going on. If I don't feel good. And I have this mechanism of, I get bored very fast, right? I know that for myself. So I do something, I need to have secondary, tertiary, and, multiple other options to jump in depending upon what I want to pick up. So I keep my options open, and love to. If I don't have things, multiple things, I do get really worked up, right? So I keep asking, please give me that. Please give me this. They're already, you're so much on your plate, right? It's okay. I still want more. And they
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
understand that
you
because
got.
it's
You
everybody says that you have too much on your plate, you will get burned out. And I'll like just go back and I say,
learn
have
to
I
say
ever got
no.
burned
Learn to
out?
say no. Have you got that one
Learn
also?
to,
I'm pretty sure.
always. I
Oh
think you're
God.
not saying no enough. And I'm like,
Yeah.
might be, it's okay.
You seriously sound like a soul sister to me right now. I've been listening to that since my college days. My friends would be like, please learn to say no. Like even in the scrapbook, they had written it. I remember that so vividly. But moving on to, the continuous learning part of it. And I'll start it off with an example. So this
Sure.
development manager of mine, he would basically say that every day you should learn something new, read something new, whatever way. And he would share his own calendar saying that 30 minutes of mine are fixed to every day's learning. It sounds so simple. Continuous learning is the, widely used word. And I'm pretty sure you're one such avid fan of it. But how do you really do it? How do you manage?
This
Even if
goes
it's
back to something.
repetitive from all the conversation until now, I am still asking.
Yeah, I don't believe in fixing time. I think there's no fixed way of doing anything. Right? It's no balance. Sometimes you may have to learn, sometimes you may not get right. But having that inquisitive mind, right? What is this? What is this? That is the kida that you should always have, and keep asking that question. Anything that comes up, right? Somebody says something, I write it down, I go back and I search and detail research about it, and I have to know, right? That is what it is. It's not about putting half an hour and not knowing what to do with it, right? But having a clear idea of certain things that you feel you've picked up on that day. And I'm sure every day you pick up something new, right? It's not that day goes by. Even now when somebody says something, I'm really in awe. When I read something, I write it down. Maybe that will require more deeper learning. I spend some time. Sometimes it takes hours together. Sometimes I spend a whole weekend just researching on, and I couldn't make out head or tail. And then I go ask people. I'll say, please help me understand this. And I would leverage my team members, my siblings, my son. Sometimes I'll ask him, go find out what is this. I want to know more about it. He comes and sits and explains. Somehow I have multiple ways of learning. I cannot sit and learn by myself. I really leverage people as much as I can. But books, I read a lot. I kind of, one of my friend keeps telling, how do you know everything, right? You know by something. It's just that if somebody says something, I have to go ask questions about it and read. I may not know in depth of it, but I'll make sure I know.
Yeah.
If you discuss it in front of me, I'm sure I'll go back and read about it. And especially in, as I said, technology world, the continuous learning is all about keeping your act sharp, ensuring you know the best coding practices, ensuring how to use the latest of the latest tools to make your life easy. Now that the AI is in, how do I use GitHub Actions or anything that will allow me to code faster? If you're doing your work for 4 hours, every time reduce it like one, and by the end of the time you should do it in single minute, right? That is the kind of efficiency you need to bring being a technologist. And learning is not just about doing it all by yourself. How do you get the help from people, tools, and everything, and just being efficient is how I look at it.
You definitely learned that really fast. How to work with that entire village stuff and everything. Like how to make the best use of everybody around, and help in the same journey, right? Everybody is learning then. That's great.
Definitely. This is very
Fascinating.
important, even for my son, even for my education. I did a doctorate because it requires research. I don't do research by myself. I'll tell 10 people, go research and come, give me this data. And I sit and I can't do it myself. I've told them I'm going to do this. You all have to support me. And I help people. And I'm one of those people, I keep helping people. But when I need, I'm sure the 100 people will come and help you. That's also another thing, right? When you help people 100 times, or at least one time they will reciprocate. Imagine you help 1,000 people. So many people can reciprocate. And I don't, if you see me, anybody reach out on LinkedIn or a message, I definitely respond. I wouldn't, if there is ask, I will try my best. There are some people who will be asking for job. Have you tried? It's not my, but I still take my personal time to find out, if there are opportunities, do this thing, I connect. Many of them got job, many of them don't get job. I'll try until they get. So it is more of, that what reciprocates. You can't go and ask a person to help you if you've not helped that person. Right? It's like a bank deposit. You pehla deposit karo, then withdraw karo. So that's how it will work. It just because I told you take people's help, you can't go randomly ask people. That's
Yeah.
what I meant.
Yeah. You can't be cruel and mean, right? Like, do
Yeah,
something.
and then they'll come and say, oh, nobody helped me. No, it is. I help like anybody and everybody. I wouldn't, even if they have hurt me also, I don't even think. If I think I can, I take it an opportunity to learn, right? Okay, this person is asking, how does this work, right? How do I go into that way of figuring it out? That's how my brain works most of the time.
I loved it. पहले deposit करो फिर निकाल सकते हो. I
Yes.
loved it. Seriously, that's something. So let me ask you one another important aspect, which is of, how do I put it subtly? Like the likability quotient or something, if I were to say in a very Karan Johar manner kind of a thing. So there's one thing where, people say that leaders, especially, you can't be a leader, like either you're a leader or you can't be an ice cream, right? You can't keep everybody happy. One aspect is that, and the other one is, I'm pretty sure in some stage of yours, because why am I making it, generalizing it, but it happens, especially to, women in tech, let's put it that way, that, oh, how come you're liked so much? Why does everybody like you? And it's not just women in tech, but even women in sales. Sometimes it's, with admiration, sometimes it's just surprise, sometimes it's very nasty that people are like, why is everybody liking her? I'm probably sure it's haters gonna hate us or something, but how do you see the likability quotient of yours? Because you're liked by so many people, right? And there's so much about a leader, a female, and this and that. So I see a big smile already. Handle the question.
Yeah. So I read it very recently. I don't recollect. I read so many things, right? So it's very difficult for me to say which book and what I picked up. Most of the times, it stays with me, right? Most of it. So in that they say the likability doesn't depend on other person. It depends on you. If you like that person, the chances of that person liking you is more. That is, I like so many people honestly and genuinely that they like me back. If I wasn't genuinely interested in you, Shruti, you wouldn't. It is what I've learned. I never knew it, but I am a person that I genuinely love people. I don't know, for whatever reason, I kind of go invest myself, and I read it very recently. That's why I could. Wow, that's the reason. people like me. It's not that I'm going and doing something for them to like me. It's just that that comes very from a deep sense. That's good learning. And why do you I don't believe in doing things to people to like me. Honestly, I have many people I fought with my managers, I fought with many people, I keep fighting, but I always have a right intent. I don't go to malign them, or I don't do it because it's just for my understanding. Even my parents also, I'm sure, earlier in the day, being a girl, asking all these questions about, why am I like this? Why can't I do this? Bringing up from that family, I never stopped. Many people said, don't do that. And I've never got scared of asking questions. What if, right? They may not like me, or there are so many things, but that was not a main thing in my head. It was all about getting my answers and doing the right thing. I always felt, and again, that is also very questionable. What I feel is right may not be the right for the other person. And having that maturity, it is okay, and I don't get stuck with that. This I am right or you're right. No, it's just a learning. What I said right today, tomorrow I'm very fine to correct it if it is based by evidence, or if I know something else, I change my view on that as well.
I couldn't have handled that question for myself. Like, I don't know who can handle it, but wow, that's so beautiful. I don't even understand how to take this. It's so much to register and work on personally, I guess. It's so not easy. But
It's
let me also understand one more thing, that when we are just helping others, because again, we are living in a kind of a virtual world also, the kind of, social media impact and everything that has on people. So just trying to be cautious for everybody who is listening to this also, right? Because again, as girls, we have been always raised by saying that, thoda dhyan rakho. You shouldn't be so good to everybody. You need to take. How do you balance that? Like, do you understand the intentions and take care of it, or sometimes it's just that log tumhara fayda utha lenge. I'm not talking about like something bad, but in general, right? Like people take advantage if you are of a helping nature. So how do
I
you?
get this very often, right? Not only you, my teammates, my team members, my managers, etc. I'm not a fool. I am a very intelligent person, right? When it comes to what your intent is, right? You're fooling yourself. You're not fooling me. I will not change my behavior just because of your behavior. I am gonna be genuinely good person. That's what I am. I will not be defined or pushed by your intent or a thought process. If you are using it, it's your loss, right? I'm genuinely helping you because I think I need to do it. If you are putting me in a spot where you are not making me comfortable, or you're putting in a situation which is not good for the bigger things, I would not participate. I'm doing because I want the good intent. If that whole thing is not about the good intent, I'm not there for it, right? And I'm very honest about it. I tell the people, right, this is making me uncomfortable. I cannot do this. There are many times I used to earlier mentor. There's a mentoring option in LinkedIn. I used to mentor a lot of people, but they used to say, "Give me your number. I want to talk to you."
Yeah.
It made me very uncomfortable, right? And I said, "I'm uncomfortable. Let's stop the conversation. I was truly invested in your career. Hopefully, you will get somebody who can, meet your expectation. This is not how I can do it, right?" And I back off. I am not a person who will play in a place where I'm not comfortable. I will understand, and I go with my gut feeling very much. If I say something is wrong, usually it is, right? So I just focus on it, and no matter what, that I will not hate that person because that's me, right? It is up to them. What they do, what they think is their problem, none of my business. I keep my thoughts and my views clean.
I hope, fellow humans, you got the point of this question and answer, right? I hope this makes a lot of sense to you out there, because you shouldn't be a fool, right? On any side while helping or not helping. So thank you. Thank you for saying that out loud. And my last question for you is, I don't even feel like stopping this conversation, but and you would be like, how many questions you already asked me? But this one is last, I promise. My final question to you is, you have such a busy schedule, right? You're managing your teams, you're traveling, not just inside India, outside India. You have a family to take care of. You have your own self to take care of, right? So how do you manage health? How do you manage yourself versus everything that's going on?
I don't do a great job at it, to be honest, right? So that is one of the things. It's not my husband takes extra care of it. It makes sure I get my eat my breakfast on time. I eat my medicines on time, my fruits on time. He's been the support. Maybe he's there. That's the reason I don't worry too much about it. But health is not, you know, I always think I should go to yoga. Sometimes I don't exercise much, but that's something which I definitely need to invest more as I go. Not an ideal thing, but somewhere, thank God, I can bear a lot of pain. I just have such a high endurance. So I tend to push, and I somehow feel, as any sportsman would feel, that's pain is a common thing when you are um, uh, in such a passionate work. There would be pain. Nothing can come without a pain, right? Health, if I talk about it, I eat right. I try and not eat junk food. Even if you put me in the best of the best place and eat, I will not overeat. I'll have my own ways of looking at it. I look at it. I walk a lot whenever I'm outside so that I don't have to do. I do my own set of things, but I wouldn't sit and say that, if I get a fever, you don't expect me to work. No, I will be working there. I would be meeting my deadlines. That's what I mean about health. But other than that, food habits and the being active and keeping my mind active, I do that regularly. It comes very naturally to me. I don't sulk. I don't sit if my back is aching. I won't sulk if I anything. I just go. And as a woman, we get our periods. We have our own cramps, and I have been having cramps throughout my career. I've never sat at a place until unless it's been too unbearable. I may go ahead and take off. But I think as a woman, we can endure a lot because of that, right? It just keeps us going and making. But I recommend people to take good care of themselves. Put your oxygen mask first before you put it for others. That's the very important step in everybody's life.
I mean, if you weren't sounding relatable to me throughout the conversation, I was like, for this last part, she's definitely something else. She's not like me. But oh, you are very much like me and probably like many others. And they're like, oh, she's one of us. So it's good. I think the secret is then to have a better life partner who takes care of.
I mean, everything, everybody you choose in your life, choose it carefully. You have to have the cheerleaders around you. Do not entertain anybody who's going to diffuse your energy. That's I've learned. I've had that, and I understood what it makes. For anybody to be successful, you need to have the right people around you. Don't settle for anything less. If you understand that's not working, take actions. Don't just sit around and talk to them or whatever it is, right? That's the most important thing. The people around you, what they say, as I said, if they're saying you're being a Jamie Dimon, I would love to have them around because I want to be Jamie Dimon. I would look at it that way, right? So get people who are very positive about you, cheering for you, and wants the best for you.
Absolutely. You making that, statement sound right. You're the average of five people you are with. So, and I just want to end this conversation. I don't want to, but I think I should, by, when I wanted some kind of a leader for myself, like this kind of a manager or role model or whatever. And when you don't get that, you then settle off to, okay, I will become something like this because I don't have one of that guardian kind of a person. But for the first time, I really want to say this out loud live on this podcast that I really have. I would have loved to work with you as a leader at JP or wherever because, oh my God, seriously, this is so amazing, Shobika. You are so amazing. I feel like I missed that opportunity if we would have
I
worked
mean,
together.
I feel the same. I love your energy, and we would have rocked off very well. I'm sure. We would have been a very good pair in the organization. Your energy is also excellent, Shruti. So it's anyways, the world is small. We never know what's going to happen. We'll have a bigger organization, and we'll all be working together in the future. Never know.
Be better than Jamie Dimons, right?
Of course, we definitely, no doubt.
So much. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for this conversation. Thank you for pouring your heart, brain, and everything out and having such a candid conversation. Means a lot to me.
Same here. Thank you so much for inviting. And I really wish many people look at podcast and get inspired and really stick to what I believe grow by growing others. So pick somebody, coach them, mentor them. That's the only way I would feel justified and giving back for having this conversation. Thanks again, Shruti.
Thank you.